Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to The Lit Life, where we talk about everything lifestyle and literature. I am back with another book review. Today we're talking about Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. He talks about in the book how actually both the Curtis Jackson persona, who is the media mogul and the businessman, and 50 Cent, who is the Grammy nominated. Actually, guys, brief intermission. Let me put some respect on his name. 50 Cent is not a Grammy nominated artist. He actually is a Grammy award winning artist. 50 Cent has a Grammy, so let me correct my mistake. I like to give people information right when I can, so because I caught that, I just wanted to let you guys know. So the businessman, the media mogul, the television mogul, and the Grammy award-winning artist. I just wanted to correct that. So, all right, back to the video. How both personas have been important to his success. How both personas have different strengths and weaknesses that he's able to leverage. And so, without further ado, let's get into the book review. So, I watched a few videos that talked about how to do a good book review because I want to make sure I'm doing a good job for you guys. And most of them suggested to start with a summary. Now, 50 Cent has made this very easy because the summary of the book is literally in the title. This book is all about and only related to hustling harder and hustling smarter. This book is 9 chapters, 270 pages. And my only critique of the book, which is not even real because I still loved it, is that the chapters are very long. So when I read a book, I tend to prefer shorter chapters because it gives me this sense of progressing faster, or just not even faster, but it gives me the sense that I'm making progress is what I should say. So yeah, other than that, I give this book a 15 out of 10. Yes, I know that 15 is bigger than 10. But I really enjoyed this book because it taught me a lot about how men think, or maybe not how all men think, but how successful media moguls think, right? Whether the media is music or television or even flavored water, right? It taught me a lot about how important it is to be able to control your emotions when it comes to business, how important it is to control your emotions, even when it comes to personal relationships, which kind of goes against the grain for me. I think a lot of times I let my emotions lead in personal relationships, and a lot of times that's led to my downfall in certain areas, or not even necessarily my complete downfall, but it may have slowed me down or left me vulnerable where I should have been strong. And so my biggest takeaway from this book is sometimes you have to murder your emotions. And murder sounds like a dramatic word, but it's the word that I need to use, that I need to ingrain in my mind so that when I catch myself being too emotional, I cut it out immediately. I'm going to just share some key learnings that I had from the book. And maybe these are a few quick things that you can change right away or that you can take away and start implementing immediately. But again, you should absolutely purchase the book and read it for yourself because I guarantee you, depending on what is going on in your life, whether you're a business person, a career and a business person, whatever it is definitely going to enhance whatever endeavors you're currently involved in. So the number one thing that I learned from this book is to be fearless. And everyone is afraid of something, right? But more specifically, what he's talking about is to not become comfortable with your fears. I can definitely identify some fears in my life that I've been comfortable with for way too long. And I need to stop being a coward and stand up to it and move past it. And so there are some fears in my life that I absolutely will be attacking head on in 2021. I'm claiming it now. Also, he talked about the importance of building a strong crew. Now, in my life, I've been blessed with really great friends. And so I really, luckily, I didn't have to I didn't feel like I had to eliminate any of my friends after reading this book. However, I did take heed to his warning on romantic relationships. And he had a quote in this book that said that billionaires don't lose the majority of their capital to competitors or new technologies, that billionaires lose most of their money to their exes. And when I say exes in this context, I'm speaking specifically about ex-wives, ex-husbands. And as a person who hopes to be married in the future, that was extremely alarming to me, that these people who have been wildly successful, right, successful enough to be billionaires, did not have a hold on the person that was closest to them. And maybe I shouldn't say a hold. They did not evaluate the character of the person closest to them effectively enough. And so that's definitely something that I'm going to be on the lookout for in my life. You know, whoever I choose to marry, I'm absolutely going to consult my father about. I'm absolutely going to consult my mother and other members of my community about, just so that I can make sure I'm protecting myself and making the best decision. I don't want to rush into something that could lead me to financial ruin, emotional ruin, mentally ruined, and, you know, potentially even a single parent without leaning on my community to help me, especially if you are religious or you subscribe to any kind of faith-based system. There should be a community of people around you that can kind of mentor you and, you know, just help you put some things in perspective in terms of what you should be looking for and what's important. So that's what I'll be doing. You don't have to do that. But if your girl makes $1 billion, I'm not trying to give half of it away. Okay. I need to marry the right person the first time, God willing. Another thing he talked about in the book is knowing your value. And I'm gonna kind of put a lot of different concepts together, because for me, the concept of knowing your value, thinking about the power of perception, and learning from your losses, those things were all connected for me. He had this story in the book that talked about this person who was basically a whipping boy for a rich celebrity. This rich celebrity would yell at this person all the time and basically demean them and disrespect them. And basically in the book, he asked the question, like, if you are the person that's labeled a whipping boy or a whipping girl to someone, let's say someone in power above you, how did you get that position? What in your character told that person that you were a good candidate for them to verbally abuse and try to humiliate? And there has been multiple times in my educational career, as well as my professional career, where I felt like I was the whipping girl. And I think I was way too quiet. I was way too agreeable. I didn't think being agreeable could be a bad thing, but apparently there is a such thing as being too agreeable. And then in addition to that, when I realized that these superior people were causing me problems for no reason, I didn't blow the whistle. Like, I didn't like try to make no noise about it. Hopefully you understand what I mean by make noise about it. That's the best explanation I could come up with. Basically, when I say make noise about it, I mean that I did not report them, or I did not keep a electronic or a handwritten record of what was happening, what was going on, just because I don't live to put other people in bad positions. But I have to get out of that, because there have been people in my life already that seem like they were living to put me in a bad position. And so in those moments, I should have protected myself. I should have stood up for myself. I should have went somewhere else where people recognize my value, for lack of a better explanation. I did not do that, and I suffered for a very long time in multiple situations. Now, luckily, I'm not in a situation like that now, but if something like that ever comes up again, I feel like this book has prepared me to hustle harder and hustle smarter, and to not be too agreeable and not be nobody's whipping girl, because that's crazy, especially when it's unwarranted. Just really quick, a side note, like, I'm the kind of person where if you point out a flaw in me or something like that, I don't take it personal. Like, I go back to, you know, to myself on my own time, and I evaluate, hey, let me look at what this person is saying about me. Is it true? Am I being ineffective? Am I being lazy? Am I doing whatever it is that they're accusing me of? Not only do I go sit with myself about it, I also ask my peers about it as well, right? I also ask my classmates about it as well. There's even been times, you guys, where I had a professor or someone that would not help me, would not answer my questions. Yeah, let's not get into that because this is a book review. And me and my friend would do an experiment. We would go to class and I would say, hey, I'm going to ask a question today, this specific question, and see if she will answer for me. Or see if he or she will answer for me. And then, you know, let's wait 15 or 20 minutes. And I want you to ask the same question and see if they answer it for you. And we would play that game all year. Like, okay, I'm going to try it and see if I get away with it, or see if I get an answer. And then you try it, right? Time and time again, the other person would get the answer. The other person would get help. I would get ignored, or I would get even chastised for it. Same thing with my job, right? I would get questions or criticisms, or even sometimes, like, I don't want to say, yeah, let's just say written up about something. And then I would call my teammates like, hey, you work with me more than this person. You communicate with me more than this person. Are these flaws that you see in my work ethic, flaws that you see in my character? Like, let me know what's going on. And time again, everybody would basically look at me like, I don't know what the problem is. Like, you seem great. Like, I don't know, you know. So yes, I definitely am going to have this in my mind to know my value. Make sure I'm not giving someone the impression that I'm a good candidate to be their whipping girl, right? Also, and I think reading this book and internalizing the information is me learning from my L. I took a few L's in this situation on many occasions, but guess what? The next time I'm going to be more prepared. Another thing I learned in this book is to be specific with my goals. How can you hustle harder or hustle smarter for something and you don't know what your goal is? You don't know what you're trying to achieve. And so sometimes I feel like there's been periods of my life where I seemed unmotivated because I didn't have any vision. I didn't have any direction behind my work. And so it kind of just looked like I was just kind of out here in the universe existing. And that can be frustrating for people who actually do want to invest in your success when they ask you, hey, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want to go with this? And you can't answer them. And so I'm sure maybe a couple people, you know, a couple people have probably written me off because I couldn't answer their questions about where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. But now I definitely will have an answer to that question if someone were to ask me that again. I'm going to try and keep this book review to 10 minutes. Those are some of the quick things that I learned. If I did not say in the beginning of this video, I rate this book a 50 out of 10. I know that's dramatic, guys, but I really learned a lot. And I would say the most important thing I learned is to cut the emotions off. Cut it out is not helpful. Sometimes it's helpful, but most of the time it's not. And so I will be approaching a lot of things in a much less emotional way. And if you struggle with controlling your emotions, then we both got to do better. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this review with someone who you think needs to be less emotional, more logical, and more calculated. I promise you there's so much more in this book. So I highly recommend it.